You're listening to Excellence Above Talent, a podcast where we have the hard conversations about the lives of men and what leads us to achieve greatness and suffer defeat. Hear from other men's journeys as well, as we all learn and grow together to become inspirations to ourselves and those around us. And now your host, Aaron Thomas.
All right, what's up, my beautiful people? Aaron Thomas with Excellence Above Talent. She would. She's about to get kicked out, and it's just going to be Esmeralda. Because I know she's going to be acting the fool. I have with me today Esmeralda and Kimberlee, or is it Kim?
Kimberlee E.
Kimberlee E. Grenada. I like to say that.
Oh my God.
Grenado.
Because I'm a brother.
Yeah.
Grenada.
So I want to, y'all introduce yourselves, tell the people a little bit about yourself, and then we'll jump in.
Like cheerleader, introduce yourself?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. My name is Kim. Yeah.
I'm 36.
Yeah.
I guess I'll start. My name is Kim. I am 36 years young. I've got 2 children. Well, I don't know if they're considered children anymore. 17, a senior in high school, and a 9-year-old who's staring directly at me.
Watch what you say is what she said.
I know. PG. We're keeping it PG. Outside being a mom. I mean, you see me at the gym, obviously.
Well, then let's talk about the gym. CrossFit 43. Listen, man, I'm gonna get a sponsorship or something. Like this is like the 3rd week in a row.
CrossFit 432. Everybody knows my brother, though.
Not everybody.
I'm literally. It's like, oh, you're Justin's sister. It's like, yeah, I'm changing my name. It's Justin's sister.
The Justin's sister.
Yep.
I don't think he needs to. We're gonna edit that out. I don't think he needs to hear that. His head's already big as hell.
I know. I was wondering how he got through that door.
Yeah. I inflated it for him. Yeah. All right, cool. What about you, Esmeralda?
My name is Esmeralda. I am 33 years old. I am a mom of 2 boys. I run an all-women's gym, HMS Fitness, West Odessa. What more can I say about myself? I think that's just the basic stuff, pretty much.
Cool. They're overall badasses. They're very humble right now, which is cool. So we'll see how the conversation goes. All right. So this podcast again, we just want to have a conversation about how to build, how to value men, and also just kind of learn about the people across from me on the mics. So. The very first question I always ask everyone, something that's like near and dear to my heart, is the suicide rate of men. I've lost a few brothers to suicide, and that's something that it has really motivated me to start this podcast and start doing the things I'm doing as far as going out there talking about men's health and men's mental health and, how serious that, this issue is. So, men are 3.5 times more likely to commit suicide than women. Why do you think that rate is so high amongst men?
Because of all the pressure. I feel like, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like it's all the pressure on the man, especially if he's the head of the household. All the pressure is on him. He has to provide, and he feels the responsibility of providing. And if anything goes wrong, it's on him. So I feel like he thinks he's responsible. He has to carry that all the time. And that must be tiring.
Yeah, I got you.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I think that watching my own brother, we're all girls.
Yeah.
Bless him. Like literally, he's the only male. My nephew is only 4, and he's the only male since my brother. My brother's 35 years old. So seeing him, like our dad wasn't in our lives. So seeing him feel like he had to take over that role as dad, brother, son, grandson.
Yeah.
And then whenever I had my girls, then it's like uncle, So it's like you have all of these things and you feel like all of these people are like your decisions are weighing on them. And it's like he automatically felt like he had to provide and take care of us and protect us and do. And so I think as a male, because most males are not, I mean, they're stubborn as hell, of course. But I feel like they carry that weight of, if I don't do this, and this, I'm going to be seen as someone that's let them down. Like all these other people that are missing in their lives, whether it be their dad, their husband, or whoever. So that person feels like they have to fill 18 other roles.
Yeah. First the roles. Do you feel like women are like trying to help them in this process, or they're just not accepting the help that, you know, their wives or their girlfriend are trying to give them?
I think women are so busy in their own heads. They've got kids and they have to take care of the household.
Gotcha.
They're not worried about what your dude's doing. All they can see is like, oh, all you do all day is work.
Yeah.
I've got the kids, I've got school, I've got dinner and breakfast and lunches and all this and that. And so I think a lot of females get caught up in their routine and their day to day. So they don't, all they see is all you do is go to work.
Gotcha.
Like, why are you upset? Or why do you feel like you have more on your plate whenever it's me and the kids, or me and this and this?
Yeah, I got you.
And it's like men are automatically supposed to be stronger just because they're a man.
Got you. You said.
She said it.
Okay. I don't think I've heard it on this podcast as far as the different roles men have to play as far as being a son, being an uncle. You know, if the father wasn't around, being the father figure. You know, being a protector, the provider, and all of that stuff. It does get heavy. But I feel like if men were able to have this discussion and talk about it with their spouse, I think it'd be a lot easier on them as well as their spouse. Because I feel like it should be like a mutual thing. Like the spouse shouldn't be, your wife shouldn't be the only one, the kids cooking, cleaning, and things of that nature. And then he also has to come in and do his part as well. But I feel like because men are just so, I guess you could say stubborn. They don't want to talk about their feelings and things. I think they
don't want to talk about their feelings because they don't want to be seen as weak.
Yeah. So would you think a man that talked about his feelings, would you view him as weak?
No, I'd rather a man talk to me about his feelings. That way I know where we stand. That way, I mean, because communication is huge.
Yeah.
And if it's not there, like, how am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to read your mind? I think that's a lot of problems with marriages and relationships, is there's no communication anymore. And it's always just one-sided because the woman automatically knows better, but the man doesn't want to speak up because it's just like, well, if I open up and let you know where I feel like I'm failing, then that makes me vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I think it's really hard for men to make themselves vulnerable.
Because they're afraid that if they're vulnerable to their spouse, that if they get into like an argument, she's going to reach out there and just throw all the stuff in his face. Or
I think women naturally get defensive, and it's just like you said, for example, if we got into an argument, it's just like, oh, you're weak, or you can't even do this, and this. Like, it's just excuses. And I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Those shots will be thrown. And so maybe men aren't going to be vulnerable like that because they don't want it to come back later and be a negative thing, or them being seen as less than.
Yeah. Fellas, that's a red flag. Get out that relationship. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. If you're vulnerable with a female and she comes back at you with that same shit,
she's throwing slugs.
Hey, listen. She toxic. What is it? Toxica or whatever?
Turn around, don't drown.
Turn around, don't drown. No bueno.
But so if I was to like say I sat here and I'm like, tell me your feelings, you're vulnerable, whatever. I'm not gonna use it against you. Let it out.
Yeah.
Would you? You know, if I'm honest, like, I'm gonna help you, whatever you're feeling, we'll get through it, whatever. Would the guy really open up?
I think so.
I think it just depends on their households also.
Yeah.
Like how you're raised. A lot of Hispanic men aren't raised that way. It's like if you spoke on your feelings, or you seemed like, what's the term I'm trying to use? It's it's a sign of weakness. If you can't get through something and you show any kind of emotion, it's almost a negative thing. It's just like, why are you acting like a girl?
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to be the man. You're supposed to, you know?
Yeah. And I think,
I can't speak for all childhood. I mean, the way men were brought up in different houses. I just know from a Hispanic perspective, like, that seems to be more of the case.
yeah, from a black standpoint too, and growing up in a black household, we didn't really talk about mental health or anything of that nature. It was just man up, get over it, you'll be okay. But I feel like men, they want to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you sit down and have a conversation with a man, and y'all start talking like real stuff, you're really going to hear a lot from him. But it's just, I guess, the opportunity to, have him speak, if that makes sense. So I think if you really sat down and you really wanted to know, he would tell you not everything, but he would be open and vulnerable and tell you some things. But he would have to feel comfortable, like, in that space. Like, if he doesn't feel comfortable, he's not going to tell you anything. But, once he feels comfortable enough to, open up to you a little bit, then he doesn't really stop talking at that point, just from my perspective. But I also have I also think that as men, you can't tell your female everything.
Why?
Because
I'm like, did you see that look? I'm like, why?
because she's not. This is just my opinion. She's not capable of, like, carrying that burden. So there.
What do you mean?
But why do you feel like that's for you to decide?
So there are some burdens that you carry as a woman, and some burdens that I carry as a man. And I'm not saying like carrying by myself, because I will tell you certain bits and pieces. But it's like when you have like girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
You don't tell your guy everything. You have your girlfriends that go and you tell your girlfriends like the nitty gritty, unless you tell your guy the nitty gritty and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Do you tell your guy everything, or do you have your girlfriends that go and kind of like?
When I was married, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. Well, then this could just be my ignorance or whatever, but dealing with a lot of guys, they just feel like they couldn't tell their wives everything,
Mm-hmm.
because it was like a burden that they had to carry themselves. So it's just a weird
I've
thing.
had that conversation with someone, though, where it's like, just because you tell this person everything and they're your best friend doesn't mean that they tell you everything.
Gotcha.
And that was never a thing for me until it happened to me. And it's just like, I never knew that. I assumed just because I'm transparent and I'm completely honest with you that you're telling me everything too. And so I was never understood until then. It's like, just because you're best friends doesn't mean they have to tell you everything. Doesn't mean they're going to want to tell you everything.
Yeah.
And so I see what you're saying. It's like I guess you're selective of who gets what part of you.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like the part, but I just feel like there's some parts that I wouldn't want to overwhelm, my wife, because I have to like figure it out. And I guess it's just a guy thing.
I think I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like, let's say even if it was work-wise or financially,
Yeah.
You're not going to come to your wife and say, well, your plan of how you're going to make ends meet, for example.
Yeah.
I feel like in your head, you're like, I'm going to make ends meet and I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But you're not going to come to your wife and ask for help. I feel like that's more like especially the wives that stay at home.
Yeah.
And I guess, so when my husband passed 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So I was with him since I was 19 years old. I'm 33 now. And he's been gone for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I was the stay-at-home mom in the Hispanic culture. I was cooking lonche burritos and all that other good stuff. But he was the one going to work. And I was at home staying with the kids. And that was my life. So his duty was to go provide, have everything that we need. And my duty was to watch your kids, have home cooked food for you, everything else, laundry, all the household stuff. But he wasn't coming to me and saying, what are we going to do as far as finance? Like, he always took care of it.
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry. Now that I run my household, I'm like, dang, like this is a big responsibility. And I feel I understand that side now that I'm the one having to pay my own bills and having to run everything. And make the choices, I'm like, dang, this is hard. This is a big responsibility. Like having to do that for yourself, raising your family and all that, going to work and then still coming home. And then your wife's over here like, all you do is work. Like, you know, it's not just all I do is work. I have to make ends meet and I have this big responsibility on my back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's kind of exactly what I was trying to say. Thank you for having my back, ladies. I was floundering there for a little bit. All right, so do you think society cares about men issues, the issues that men have?
No.
And then if you say no, why?
I just don't think it's ever been a thing. It's not, men just have never been part of that conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just automatically supposed to do it because you're a guy. Like
you're just supposed to be tapped. You're just supposed to, I mean.
Yeah, but like, where does it come from though? Like, is it just?
I have no idea. I just don't, it's weird because until you ask that question, you don't think about it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, shit, I guess I didn't really pay attention to men's struggles or mental health or their feelings. They're all.
We have feelings too, I promise.
It's like, what? You're not an asshole? Hold on.
No, they're still assholes, but like, you know, they still have feelings too. They still want to be vulnerable and open and talk. And why do you think society doesn't care about men issues?
It's been like that for years, and I mean, I don't know where it started, but I mean, even when women didn't have rights to do anything. It was just they couldn't have a say. They wouldn't even have a say to pick their own husbands. You know, like back in the day, it's like the man would go and pick his wife or however that worked. But I couldn't give you an answer. I just know society really doesn't care.
Like the beginning of time, just these issues. Men don't have issues because they're men. So I think that's a big issue that we need to continue to have. And that's why we want to continue having these conversations, because it's you know, there's shelters for women. There's all kinds of things that women can go to and get like the resources and help. But if I, as a man, I'm struggling, like, where do I go to get the help? Like, who do I go and talk to? Like, you know, is there a shelter for me and things of that nature? Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's, you know, people are trying to make it out to be like men versus women. And I'm just like, hey, no, it's, you know, we're the human race and we all have issues and we're all trying to figure it out. And you can't, you know, take one group and, you know, prioritize them over the other. But I also get what you're saying, because men have been the dominant one for a very long time. And so this question I asked Justin and Edme, do you think men are the reason the feminist movement began?
That one's, so I heard of that actually. And I was like, no, like I had so much to say on it. But as far as feminists, and this is what I thought. So, like, let's say a girl's doing well for herself. Oh, well, woman empowerment, you know, you got this. But then if a guy's doing the same thing, what's a guy get? Nothing. Yeah. Like, it's kind of like you're on the same page, but just because you're a woman, you're like, oh, now, you know, you're feminist or woman power or whatever. But then when the guy does it, it's just the same. It's just, oh, the guy's just doing it. Yeah. So why is that?
Well, see, I'm thinking more on the line of like women started to come together because of their treatment of, you know, in the house or, you know, not being able to vote and things of that nature.
Maybe women just wanted to have a say.
Like, I got you.
You know, it's like back in the day, women didn't have a say. Maybe they just wanted a say. Maybe they wanted an opinion. Maybe they wanted to pick their husband. Maybe, you know, like they couldn't do so many things back then, and I think that's where it came from. Yeah,
I got you. But see, I think it came from because men were essentially like slave drivers. Like they really wouldn't let them do anything, and because they wouldn't let them do anything, women started to revolt, and that's how like this movement came about, because they couldn't vote, because they were property, because they wanted to pick their own husband. And, you know, make their own money. I think that's, you know, from my perspective, that's how the feminist movement started, was because men were trying to, I guess retain the power that they thought they had over women. Does that make sense?
No, I get what you're saying.
Okay.
It's like women did all that to be equal to men, right? So then why don't you keep it equal? And it's not, because women still have all these, like we're saying, shelter, all these other things.
For sure.
But you said you wanted it to be equal.
I got you.
Why is it not equal?
That makes sense. So I feel like, it was a shift, and then we're not, coming back to like even ground. It's just like we're taking over, and one person, women have all this stuff, and men are just kind of like trying to figure it out. So yeah, did you have something to say? Okay. So if you throw a basketball draft or a football draft, and you have to pick the number one quality that you want in a man, it's not on there. This is a trick question. This
was not my question.
This wasn't on there. What quality would you pick? So number one, you have number one draft pick. You have to pick one quality to start, to build your perfect man. What would that quality be?
Honesty.
Honesty. Because?
I don't think that, because you can have communication all day long, but if it's not honest communication, what is it?
Ooh, that's a mic drop moment.
I was gonna say trust, but it's like honesty is the same thing. Trust and honesty is the same thing. But yeah, that's the main thing. Like my main thing is trust. Like if I can't trust you, then where is it going? Like it's like she said, you can have all the communication all day long, but if they're all lies, then you don't have anything.
Yeah, for sure. I dig that. So men,
you hit it right.
Let's be more honest, man. All right, so this is a scientific fact. You can't even trust scientific facts anymore, neither.
I know. I was like, hold on.
So
let's not talk about science.
So the average age of a man to mature is at 43. The average age of a woman to mature is at 32. Why do you think that is?
The only thing that I can think of is becoming a mom, but we had that conversation earlier as to there's moms out there that still don't mature.
Well, the dads are dads too. Like, what the hell?
I don't know if it's the process like of us carrying our child and like, I don't know if it's that. I don't know.
Yeah, I got you. What do you think? Do you even think it's like true?
No, I guess it just depends. Like I said, their environment and the way they were brought up, it just depends. Like, you can look at males and all the same age, but what if one male had to support his family at a young age? Let's say, like, I know somebody that had to drop out of high school their senior year because their mom's husband beat the shit out of her and she wasn't able to work. So it's like, as a son, he felt the need, well, now I've got to take care and provide for my mom. So he had to grow up much sooner.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because he wanted to, but that's his mother who's going to protect her and do what he had to do for his family and take care of himself, his mom, and his brothers. And so I think.
But see, I feel like they mature because I was that way. My dad left at 10, and so oldest, being the oldest, I felt like I had to like take over and, be a protector and provide.
But I feel like that ages you backwards too.
But yeah,
maturity, because you had so much responsibility at a young age.
And then once you get older, out of it,
your responsibility is done. You're like buck wild, and I'm gonna do the stuff that I should have been doing when I was 17, 18. Now that I'm 30 plus, it's like I'm gonna act a fool because I didn't get to when I was this age. So
it's like, damn, bro, you're too old. Aaron.
You're too old to be this messy.
Yeah, Aaron, you're too old to be this messy. But yeah, I do think that's something that happens too. Like I essentially lost, my childhood.
You got a Benjamin Button life.
Yeah. And then I, want to rock out with my cock out, and then now I realize like, no, I don't want to do that no more. But now it's like too late. I'm sorry, Ava. She's like, what? So what is the biggest challenge you face while dating?
Everybody's so damaged.
Oh shit. Talk about it, girl.
That and social media. So I was with the same person for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that was such a huge part of my life. And so trying to get over that and jump into this new way of dating and speaking to people, because social media wasn't a thing when we first started dating.
Yeah.
And so
You're that old.
yeah, I'm that old. I am a dinosaur.
Stop it.
But so now it's just, I mean, everybody has access to everybody now.
Yeah.
So even dating is awful because it's like, well, I'm not really into this person. So someone's just like, I'm just going to message this person. And it just ruins the dynamic of just, yeah. And so whereas you used to be able to just regularly date somebody and get to know them and you had actual conversations, whereas now it's all on the phone. And so it's like, how much attention are you actually paying to this person before another person's like, bing.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, people are so easily distracted these days too.
Gotcha.
And back to the damaged point, everybody's on edge. So as soon as you do something that triggers what they're used to, it's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
And this whole red flag thing is so huge now that it's just like, oh no, I can't do this. Red flag, red flag, red flag.
Yeah.
Instead of getting to know somebody automatically, it's like, no, you said this and it's similar to what my ex did. Or, you know, it's just so different now.
Yeah, I like that. I think there's like certain red flags that like you shouldn't allow. Like if someone puts their hands on you, that's a red flag. You get out immediately. But red flags, you know, you shouldn't, if someone just says something and it brings you back to someone that you used to talk to, yeah, it might be a red flag, but like it's only one and you shouldn't like run from that one. If it builds over time and it's a bunch of red flags, then yeah. But like, yeah, I like that when you know, breaking down like people are like, if I see one red flag, I'm out. And it's not like that. I want to work to see, because like you're going to have a red flag. You're going to have a red flag. Like we're all going to have red flags like in a relationship. But it, you know, if it's like, if it's constant red flags, then maybe, yeah, we need to figure out a way to.
And because of social media, it's just like, oh, I saw that you were with so-and-so. I know his ex, or I heard this, and this. And so before you even, right. And so before you even get to know this person, you've already heard from XYZ about why this person's a POS.
Yeah.
And so you're automatic like, oh, I shouldn't even entertain it.
Yeah. But you will.
Unless you're like me and
you'll walk into it. You walk into it like, well.
You see red flags.
Yeah. POS, that's my stuff, man. Let me go see how this is.
Where do we sign up?
Where do we sign up? Oh, what about you? What do you think?
It's time consuming, one. And I don't date. So to me, it's like, I just hear stories, you know, just even there at the gym, I just hear stories like, girls, whatever, after divorces in the dating world, shoot, what Kim just said, you know, all the red flags, just listening to her. Now I'm like, okay, that's why I don't date, you know, that's why I'm not out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if I'm going to squeeze that into my day or my time or my energy, it has to be worth it.
Yeah,
I'm going to go on this day. There has to be a purpose. So I'm going to go on this day and this guy has all these red flags everywhere. Then what am I doing sitting on this day with this guy that's just wasting my time when I could just be doing other stuff?
Entertaining people is exhausting.
Yes, there you go. Entertaining people is exhausting. So I won't do it.
You have to have the mental capacity to sit here and have those first conversations. It's not like, well, what's your favorite color anymore? Or what kind of ice cream do you like? Yeah. It's just like, how many kids you got and how many dads?
Yeah. Do you go to what I mean? Do you go to therapy?
Do you go to therapy? Yeah. There you go.
I feel like most of us should carry like those OSHA signs on. Like it's been 10 days since my last incident.
Since my last explosion. Do you find it more difficult because you have kids to date, or like the realness of men? You know, if they're not really.
There's so many bad people in the world. It's bad. It's hard enough trying to protect your kids from their peers at school and adults in general. And so to meet someone and invite them into your world, it's a very difficult thing because you can introduce your kids to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, but it's like if you're not going to add value and be someone safe for my kids, then we can't talk. And so that's automatically where women with kids are going now. It's just like, well, if I can't bring you around my kids, then.
See, I think that's too, it's like, if you can't bring him around your kids, then why entertain it?
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I wouldn't want to entertain some, like, if it's not going to go anywhere, why am I sitting here entertaining it?
Yeah.
But it's weird because your kids are also like, you need to go out. You need to find somebody. You need to go on dates. Like my girls drive me up the wall. It's just like, you need to find somebody nice. You need to go on dates.
But you don't like nice guys, though.
I don't like nice. I do not like nice. Because it's just like.
All right, let's break this down a little bit. You don't like nice guys. I guess define a nice guy. Define a nice guy. What is a nice guy?
Okay, so for example, like the one person I was talking about earlier, it's just like, this person's really into me. I mean, we're having great conversation. He's polite. He's, to my knowledge, honest. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, how many other girls are you entertaining? Because surely you're not this nice of a person.
Is it a trust issue for you then? Like, that you don't think he's genuine, like he's really being nice?
Right, because how many genuine people do you come across anymore?
I feel there's a lot more genuine people than we think.
No.
We just like
absolutely not.
We just like, again, we automatically cut them off if we see one or two things.
Which is also a toxic thing about myself, is like, I'm gonna get you before you get me type of mentality, to where I'm gonna cut you off before you can even hurt me type thing now.
Even if they don't hurt you.
Absolutely. Because I'm the type of person that's already thinking ahead to potential, because it's like, how do you know if the person you're keeping around isn't going to change? So
well, that's the whole, like, see, and so I believe in like love, like I wear your heart on your sleeve, like
I do too, and that's my problem.
If you hurt me, girl, that is not your problem. Because your heart don't sound like it's on your sleeve. Your heart is in that ice box.
Well, now
because you're thinking about ways
like
of getting.
Yeah,
you're like, he's too nice. I'm gonna fuck it up.
But like we were talking about earlier,
okay.
I was with the same person for 15 years,
Gotcha.
And so I'm obviously not over all of the hurt, and
so you're also part of the damaged people that
yes,
was in the damaged
exactly. I'm everything I've been talking about.
I got
you.
you.
It's just like, my ex was great, and then 3 years into it, it's like, holy shit! Like, I don't even know who you are, because initially we were best friends.
Yeah.
And now when you add the tag of a relationship, and then you add your kids, and you just start adding all these different dynamics and let outer things influence you, and it's just like, I don't even know this person anymore. And I think that's the problem too. And I talked to my mom about this before, and it's like, why don't you just allow yourself to enjoy now?
So why don't you?
Why are you always thinking ahead of what's going to go wrong?
Facts.
Or is this person marriage material? It's like, why are you even worried about that right now? Because yes, Esmeralda, it's just like, instead of enjoying, hey, I met someone new and
it's fun.
Right.
And
just enjoy
cool.
yourself, have fun. And it's like, everybody's so hell bent on, well, I'm dating to marry. Or why can't you just date for fun?
See,
I want to understand.
Like, why does marriage have to be the end goal for everybody?
I don't think it is.
Yeah, like,
hell no.
To me, I'm like, okay, I do want to date. I want to be like, okay, I want to date eventually, but then I'm like, do I though? Like, and then I listen to Kim and I'm like, do I though?
And that's what I'm saying. That's why people don't want to date, because they hear people like, that sounds really shitty. Like, I don't want to go there.
But I also think like when I do start dating again, I want to build something before I take it to like the next level.
But
like I want to build like a friendship.
To marry again?
Yeah.
Are you
Well, see,
dating to have fun?
well, see, I don't know. Like,
You know
I want to
what? What's
date to
wrong
have
with
a
dating
friendship.
What's wrong with dating to marry?
There's nothing wrong with dating to marry because there's a purpose. Like, again, I'm 35.
Everyone's different.
I don't have like the time to be playing like, I guess the games.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so like, so I don't want to play the games. And so if I do date, it's going to be serious. It's going to be something that I'm, potentially I could see as like wifey material versus just like, oh, let's just go out here and just have some fun.
And now the dating to marry thing just reminded me of a friend that I was like, well, how did that happen, with your husband? I literally said it, are you husband material or not? And then they're married now. Like, so it's kind of like, maybe it does work for some
But
people.
how do you have that conversation with someone without them being like, oh shit, like you're trying to talk about marriage? I thought we were dating.
Well, I mean, if he ain't,
like, girl, you're already taking my last name.
if he ain't scared or anything,
well, I know.
If he's not scared, then yeah, he'll have that conversation. But then that also tells you, that also tells you, well, he wasn't ready. he wasn't husband material. He wasn't husband material. So now you know. What is husband material?
Husband material would be my stepdad.
Okay.
He's without a doubt one of the most kind. Generous.
You can't say nice. You can't say kind. Because that's not your husband material.
He's genuinely. If I were to ever get married, that's who my mom has. She's been blessed.
Gotcha.
Like none of us. Like she came with a ton of baggage, and we joke about it all the time. And she's like, "Man, if I were him, I would have." After I met us, I would have booked it in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Like we were a lot. My mom was a lot. And so for him to come in with his 3 kids and to her world with the 3 of us, I mean, you just automatically respect somebody like that because not only that, but he's a police officer for SAPD. So he already had a lot on his plate, but the way he respected my mother and just being around that, you see, it's just like, that's how I want to be treated.
That's how you should be treated.
Respect is a big deal because it's like love and respect should be in a marriage. Because when I think like, oh, this is how I would want it to be, I don't want to have like a list. Of course, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But just respect each other. Be honest. Honesty is a big deal because if you don't trust your husband,
it's really basic stuff if you think about it. Like,
it's basic stuff.
Everyone makes it harder than what it needs to be, though.
Yeah, maybe you do like the nice guys, but you don't really believe that they're nice because you think they're full of shit.
Exactly.
But you would want a nice guy, but you just don't give them a chance to keep being nice to you because you think they're full of shit.
Too nice.
Right.
Yeah,
so
but it's not that they're too nice. It's that you don't trust them being nice, like genuinely nice. That's what it is. I got it, Kim.
Of the things that maybe, like, do I deserve nice?
Yes. Everybody deserves nice.
Oh, Ava said yes.
I feel like
if your heart's going to get broken, either way, you might as well have it broken by a nice guy than a fucking mean guy. I'm just saying, like, switch it up. You got to switch it up, you know what I mean?
I wish I knew at what point for me it's overwhelming.
Yeah, but like too nice.
Yes.
Well, see, that's more of a you thing and not a him thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you have to dig deep and start learning how to like love yourself more to be able to accept, the niceness or the love that person is trying to give you.
I don't know how to take compliments to save my life.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you look really nice today, and I'm just like, it's hot outside.
Oh, Kim, you look really nice today.
You're
I'm gonna be like awkward.
You're like, or something.
And I'll be like, I like your shoes.
I'm the same way. I'm not even gonna lie.
Someone told me, I said, you never just say thank you.
Just say thank you.
Just say thank you, and appreciate it. It's like, why?
Don't be weird.
I don't know how to not be weird.
Well, that's life, I guess. That's you.
You think that's why we get along?
Because y'all are both weird. That's 100% why y'all both get along.
He's laughing right now.
Not me. Y'all too. Y'all. No, I'm laughing a little bit. Did you answer the question? I don't know if you answered the question.
what traits I look in a husband.
Yeah, what is like husband material?
Husband material. Honesty, respect, and love is really what I think. And as far as like husband material, I'm not looking for someone to like take care of me. Like I don't want someone to take care of me. I just want to like.
Okay, so let's
I
want to dig down. Like, why do you not want someone to take care of you?
Because I take care of you, you take care of me as far as like mental well-being, I guess. But like I guess because when I was married, it was like he was taking care of me financially, but he was probably not taking care of me, in other ways as far as like how was your day to day, or
like
stuff
emotional,
like that.
mental.
Emotional, definitely emotional. So now what I would look for in a marriage is that like be a team. I'm here for you, you're here for me. Let's do this together. Like we can doing stuff together. Accomplishing things together. And somebody that would do that with me, like that I can trust, that would do that.
Yeah, I got you. Fellas out there, if you're listening.
Oh my gosh.
It ain't happening.
You never. All I'm gonna say is you don't make any shots you don't shoot. I don't know if that's the right saying or not. All right. So why is mental health such a taboo? Like, why is it so hard?
It's all in your head, and it's just like I hear that all the time.
It's clearly all in your head.
Yeah, it's just like. But you're just supposed to dismiss it, like you're overthinking
why
things,
though?
or that's just a lot of people say like it's all, and it's funny because the way they say that, and it's just like it's all mental, and it's like, well, no shit.
Yeah.
Like
most of life is mental.
I know, and it's just like, I mean, when people say it's all in your head, just like so, I struggle with anxiety. My anxiety's through nonstop, and it's just like it's all in your head. It's like, okay, well, you tell me how to make it stop because.
So where'd it come from, the anxiety?
I don't know. I was talking to my mom about that one time, and she says it all the time. She's like, I don't know where you and your sister get this anxiety from. She goes, you guys have crippling anxiety. Like, I'm not even kidding. My chest will tighten up, and I need to go to a quiet, dark place, or I need to go for a drive. Like, I need to get somewhere to where I can calm down because I literally cannot breathe.
Yeah.
Whenever I get anxious, and I don't know what triggers it, but I will say it's weird because it didn't get as bad as it has since I had COVID last year. Like I literally thought I was dying. And so ever since then, my anxiety comes in waves. It's just like a specific time before lunch. It's after, it's right before dinner, and it never fails. 11 o'clock, it's just like, here I am.
Yeah.
And so I've tried to, like, I've realized there's a pattern. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, what is it that I'm doing to trigger this? Because it happens at these 3 same times every time.
You don't go to a counselor? Is that something?
No.
Why?
I read my Bible.
Okay, so is a counselor taboo?
I think if there are more resources, I haven't dug into ones that don't cost an arm and a leg.
Gotcha.
And so for me, it's just like, it's way less expensive to jump into my Bible and talk to God about it.
I mean, it ain't helping.
It does though.
It helps, but it ain't helping. So I feel like you need to figure some other things out. There has to be ways where the
but I feel like
counseling
if you go to
isn't
a
as much.
counselor, it's like, have you tried this medicine or have you tried this medicine?
See, I don't like the medicine. I want to deal with I think dealing with whatever it is that you got to deal with is like the best thing.
Because that's the first thing my doctor wanted to do. It's like, well, have you tried Xanax? Like, yeah, no shit. It's like, we've already tried that before. And it's like, I'm just not.
I just want to drug you versus.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't want to take, and it's just like, but you got to be careful with them because they can become addictive. It's like, okay, then why not? I had a doctor a long time ago. It's like, I'm going to prescribe you. He's like, don't laugh at me. He goes, but I'm going to prescribe you these 3 books. He goes, and let me know how that works. And then if not, then we'll go the medication route. And it's just like, I appreciated that because it said,
what were the books? I love books.
We are not getting back into books.
I'm sorry. Do you remember the books? No? Well, shucks.
They were definitely self-help books, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. You don't
I
like,
feel like that helps a lot.
yeah, learning about yourself. Girl, you say you want to be in the book club, but then you looking at me like you don't want to be in the book club. Because I'll kick motherfuckers out the book club in a heartbeat. Like, either we're going to read this book together and have a conversation.
Is that what book clubs do? You read
Yeah,
the book together?
that's exactly what it is.
And then you discuss what you read?
And it's accountability group, too. So
it's like Bible study.
I want to talk about, like, our goals. And I want to
okay.
hold each other accountable for our actions and kind of what we're
I've never
trying
been
to
part of a
do.
book club.
Me neither. This is like the first.
new.
This is 100% new, but I've already like started the process. I'm going to add people and we're going to figure it out.
I think that going to a counselor, you still have to do your homework at home.
For
right?
sure.
But the counselor will tell you, he, she, whatever, will tell you, hey, have you tried this? Maybe this is triggering you, what you're feeling. Maybe they think they're seeing the problem outside of the box.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're telling you what's going on outside of the box. And then you kind of like sit back and you're like, oh, wait,
That's where it's coming from.
Yeah, that's where it's coming
Yeah.
from. I did do that. Maybe it was that. I need to go fix it.
Yeah.
Then you know what to fix at that point and then move on.
Yeah. I think it's also just lonely, dude. Like, no one wants to deal with like their shit. Like, I think that is something that I think is an issue right now in America and in the dating scene. And we're all kind of like, again, bleeding on each other, and not taking the time to like, step back and be like, man, why am I the way I am? Like, why do I do the things that I do? And that really, breaks it down and kind of helps you in that process of like the next time you get with someone, you understand like, oh, okay, this is, I see it now. I see where it's going. I see how, what I'm doing. I see like the negative traits that are now popping up in my life. And you said something that I thought was super like cool. You have your flaws and you're aware of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like that right there is like the beginning. Like if you're aware of like all your flaws or most of your flaws, you can work on your flaws and like.
I 1000% believe everybody knows what their flaws are.
Gotcha.
But it's ultimately up to you to either fix them or just keep going until.
I like that, yeah.
They completely tear
I do
your
like
eyes
that
out.
because you can just ignore them because you don't want to fix them and you're avoiding the problem and just continue on.
Yeah. And your life just doesn't get any better.
And it just goes back to becoming vulnerable.
Kim just needs to be a teacher.
Yeah, no.
So being vulnerable sucks. Because
Absolutely.
people have the audacity to judge you.
Yep.
In like your lowest form. I know for a fact I've been judged. But I also don't give a damn neither because like there's healing in me having these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
There's healing in, hopefully when you leave, this interview or just podcast, like there's healing in like figuring out why you have anxiety. There's healing in like so like having these conversations and talking about it to me is a form of therapy as well, where I can, talk about these things and be vulnerable and be open and not, I think the issue is we all hide who we really are because we're afraid that people, if they see us for who we really are, they wouldn't like us. But I wouldn't want to be around those people who don't like me for who the fuck I am.
There's a lot of closed-minded people though that automatically jump to like you'll be talking to them and they're not even listening and automatically just say you're just playing the victim.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's like, well, now I don't even want to talk to you because like, did you even hear anything I said? And so, I mean, at the end of the day, you're the only person who's walking in your shoes.
For sure.
So to sit there and say, oh, well, this isn't really that bad. How the fuck do you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's 100% And I think people don't, we've lost the.
There's no empathy.
Yeah, there's no empathy.
There's absolutely zero. And
or
so
grace. No one gives each other grace. It's just like you have to be perfect. And I'm like, you can kiss my ass on that one because I'll tell you right now, I'm a flawed individual.
And that's my thing. And I didn't really pay attention to grace until I joined my Bible study.
Gotcha.
And it's just like that group of women taught me how to extend grace and how everyone deserves to be extended that grace. Like I just
Because God give it to you every day. You know what I mean? So why are
And it's
you
hard
not
to
giving
explain
it
that
to
to
other
people too,
people?
because it's just like a lot of people, that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Religion, forget it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like I said,
Well, too, because when you speak about it, so much debate comes out. Well, you know,
it's
that's
like,
why I say
you think you know
politics and
better.
religion. Don't speak about
Yeah.
politics and religion
I
because
speak about it all the damn time. Like if you can't be grown up to have a conversation about it, then you need to go somewhere and sit your ass down, because we should have this conversation and you should want to fight me afterwards because I don't think the same way you think. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We can agree to disagree,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And just move on. Like you don't have to force me to, accept anything that you feel like I should accept, because it's like, again, it's dumb. All right, so 2 more questions. I'm gonna get to this one. What's something people seem to misunderstand about you?
I tried answering that earlier, but my answer was not the same as Kim's answer, so I don't even know how to answer
Well,
that.
who cares about Kim's answer? Because this is your answer. We want to hear what you have to say.
I don't. I mean, I don't know. Like what I said earlier is maybe I come out as dry. You know, you ask me something, and I literally answer what you told me, but I don't continue on the conversation. It's like, oh, have a good day, you too. That's it. That's as far as the conversation is gonna go. So I don't know if I'm being misunderstood, because I'm really not being ugly or saying it to be ugly or just being short to be ugly. I'm just.
You got nothing else to say.
I don't have anything else to say. Like,
see, I was scared when you first said that. Like, oh Lord, this is gonna be like a me and Kim conversation. And Esmeralda's gonna be in there like, it's me. Yep, everything Kim said. But it hasn't been that way. So again, I think if someone is pulling that out of you, then you can have like a deeper conversation.
Yeah, like I can have like Kim, and I don't know if it's just like a comfortable thing too.
Yeah.
Because like with Kim, I can have a conversation with her just fine. Like I'm not.
Kim could talk to the wall.
Yeah, but then Kim can also talk to the wall, so maybe that could be it. But
that's funny.
So I think maybe I come off as mean. I don't know. That could be it. Kim said, tell me she thinks people think I'm mean. I mean, I don't know.
Because why?
I have no idea.
Say it with your chest.
She's huge on
because
social media.
I'm beautiful.
She's huge on social media. People follow her, and I think that's a huge part of it. She's gorgeous. She's got a banging body. Like people are
thirst trap pictures.
Oh my god!
All with hands.
Okay, yeah, I'm just don't be a creeper. Don't slide in the DMs or anything. But Jesus,
her social media persona, you automatically think she's gonna jump out and be welcoming and accepting and be like, "Hey, I'm in your face and I'm gonna automatically be your friend."
Yeah.
But you would never know that she's a very quiet, reserved person.
Yeah.
Because her social media is very much the opposite. It's a very loud, like motivational type thing.
Yeah. And girls get intimidated by that, and then guys just make assumptions that she wouldn't date anyone but like someone with money or someone with prestige or someone who has like
she's
essentially
looking for someone that belongs in her men's health fitness.
Yeah, like someone's going to take care of her. Right. That's kind of what it is. And that's the sucky thing about social media too. Like it doesn't tell the full story, and people just make all these assumptions of like who that person is without really knowing who that person is. So yeah, I can 100% see that. And I was saying like thirst trap. I don't know. I've seen like 1 or 2 pictures. Not to sound like a creeper or anything. So I'm gonna go home and she's gonna be like, yeah, this motherfucker's deleted. He's gone. He's blocked. That awkward, like, in the gym, like, oh God. What about you, Miss Kimberlee?
What's the question again?
What is something people misunderstand about you?
That you said earlier.
Which one?
I feel like you can also come off as intimidating. I don't know why, but
I mean, once you get, she makes me laugh all day long.
Yeah.
So,
And that's my thing. I said maybe it's that people, because I'm constantly laughing and joking and monkeying around, and I feel like I get along with everybody, really.
Mhm.
I'd never run across a stranger.
Yeah.
But I think that's a huge misconception too. Is like you're never serious. You're always laughing, or everything's a joke to you, and it's like who's to say like I'm not laughing to keep myself from crying,
Yeah.
or because it's an insecurity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
I
like
got
if
you.
I've got one thing, it's like people stay laughing, whether it's because I'm retarded or I say off the wall shit. I don't know. But
You're trying to get us canceled. You can't say the R. You can't say the R word.
I'm sorry.
Can't say the R word. Forgive us,
I apologize.
podcast listeners.
But I think that's a huge, and it's just like with my line of work that I've always been into. I've always worked in the service industry. I've always done bars and restaurants, and it's just like, when are you going to get a real job? It's like, I'm sorry, am I bringing home Monopoly money?
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I mean, why is this not a real job?
Yeah.
And so it's always been, I think, a huge misconception is like, this girl's never going to have a real job. And it's like, but that's something that I enjoy. I'm a people person.
Yeah.
I'm a people pleaser. Like, I want to make people laugh. I want to make them happy. I love conversation. And to me, when I'm surrounded by people, I'm more comfortable
Got you.
than being by myself.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And so I think that's a huge misconception. It's like, well, this girl's got no real goal in life because she just wants to hop from bar job to bar job to bar job, but she doesn't know what she wants to do. And it's like, no, I know what I want to do, but when people constantly shit on what it is you really enjoy, it's like, you're gonna cry. It's just like you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I'm gonna go try this and see if that works out because this is a joke.
Yeah. All right. So let me break this down. Girl, you're gonna make me cry too. I'm really learning about myself more. I've come to like my softer side. Like I've been a hard ass like my whole life. I couldn't cry. I have to be this tough, and
Crybaby in the world.
and so now I now know that yes, I have a monster inside of me, and I know when to unleash it, but I also know when to put it in and like not, just always be puffed up all the damn time. So I'm a big like fuck people type of guy. Fuck people and what it is that they tell you what you can and can't do. Because what you just said, a while back ago was no one knows, who you are, what you want in your life. And so you shouldn't stop doing what you love because someone doesn't think that it's not good enough.
But it comes with the insecurity and, like I said, the people pleasing, because it's just like, well, if so-and-so and so-and-so are like, you need to get your life together. Like, why you have kids? Like, why are you not buckling down, being more serious? And it's like, why is there this timeline for everybody? Why do I have to have a house or a career by this age?
Yeah.
Who set those limits?
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, your kids are never going to grow up and see stability or organization or this and that because you're all over the place all the time.
But you know what I know that your kids do see? They have seen the world. They see, the happiness of like life. And so like kids who are just like stuck in a routine and haven't really lived their life. I mean, your kids are living, they have a cool ass mom. And she's doing the best she can, right? And they're also living a pretty freaking amazing life. They're going places, they're seeing things. Again, you shouldn't compare or make that assumption that because you're here, you're not good enough or you're not worthy enough, because that's all just BS. So
and that's
100%.
just been the biggest problem for me is when people are like, oh, she's changing jobs again, or oh, she's doing this again. It's just like, I was fine wherever the fuck I was at, but whenever you made a comment about how long are you going to keep doing this, it's like, then you get in your own head and it's like, well, can I keep doing this? But it's like, would I ever be in my head had these comments not been made?
Yeah.
Would I have been able to just do this? But I feel like I've always let my relationships with other people affect what I'm doing in the moment. Like my ex, for example.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, I don't like the bank because you work every day and then you're working weekends. It's like, well, shit, I can't work at the bank. I can't work at the bar. Like my schedule's always a problem. So I'll just quit and do something else.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know what? I'm going to be safe and go be a teacher. Because it's like, that's what I went to school for. So I'm just going to go do that and be safe. But it's just like, this doesn't pay for shit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go find something that pays more money.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, it's just.
This is the point where you're just like, you know what? Screw everybody. Like, I'm going to do what makes me happy. I'm going to do me. Like, whatever you say, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to do me. I'm going to do what's best for me to support my kids, whatever the case is for. And I guess, like, is that whenever the being single or alone term comes, because then you find things about yourself, what you like, and you're going to go do it even if nobody else likes it. Like, you want to go book a trip tomorrow, you can book it without having to give anybody an explanation. You just go.
Yeah.
I feel like, why can't you just do stuff that makes you happy?
Yeah.
And like, or brings you joy at that moment, and then eventually you'll just be happy. You'll just be a happy person because you're doing whatever things that you enjoy.
Yeah.
But I feel like whenever you have kids, people look at you like you're supposed to be a mom. I know I'm a mom, but don't forget I was a person before I had my kids, and I'm still my own person.
You're looking at it all the wrong way.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I've always felt like if I do something, I'm going to owe somebody an explanation as to why I did this, instead of saying because I wanted to.
We'll just start saying that because I wanted to.
No, and so
I mean, and if you piss people off, you piss people off, and they'll be okay with that. If they love you, they will deal with it.
And so my thing about it is,
because I want to start.
Facts.
It's like, I don't necessarily agree with what everybody else is doing, but it's like, do I feel like it's my place to speak on it? No.
Yeah.
Like, do I think you're as great a person as you say you are? It's like, I know better, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm definitely not going to tell the people because, I mean, that's your thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't think it was until after my grandmother passed that I was like, when are you going to stop worrying about what everybody else thinks and what everybody else is doing, because that's how she spent her entire life.
Yeah.
Was doing for others and worrying about others and what they thought. And it's just like, at the end of the day, it's like, what kind of quality of life did she have?
Yeah.
It's like she didn't get to do all the things she wanted to do because she was so busy taking care of everybody else.
Yeah.
And when she wasn't doing for somebody else, she didn't feel like she was doing anything. And so I'm like, I don't, like, as great as my grandmother was, like, I don't want to be that person.
Gotcha.
That's worried about doing things in fear of, well, what about so-and-so? Or what about this?
And do you feel like that's where you're at right now in your life?
Absolutely. Because it's just like, well, you've got kids. Like, I know I have kids.
Yeah.
It's like, I am fully aware. It's like, if at any point my kids aren't being taken care of, let me know, because I feel like if my kids were being mistreated or not being fed or clothed or taken care of, my kids are the first people that are going to tell you.
Yeah. I think they will 100% too.
But it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
To feel like, well, if I go and do what I want to do, what's so-and-so and so-and-so going to think about this? And I'm like, I'm almost 40 years old. Why am I still worrying about what you're going to think or what you're going to think, or whether you think my quality of life is worth anything? Like, what do you care?
Yeah.
I mean, I get, like, as a loved one, you obviously care because they want to see what's best for you. But at the same time, I think there's a disconnect because people are confusing, I want to see what's best for you, with, why don't you do what I think is best for you?
Yeah, that's two totally different things. So I think I did a quote. It was either today, it was from that book, Wise as Fuck by Gary Bishop. And he talked about how, are people holding you accountable for your actions, or are they holding you accountable for the actions that they want to see from you? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And so there's a lot of people who are trying to hold other people accountable for the actions that they want to see, versus holding them accountable for their actions. And your actions isn't doing anything to be held accountable for.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm doing something wrong, and that's like illegal, okay, speak on it.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why people get so involved when it's got nothing to do with you. It's like none of this affects you personally or how you're living your life.
Yeah.
So why are you still worried about what the fuck I'm doing?
It's maybe
it's like, am I hurting you?
It's a control thing. Like those people have a control thing that maybe you have to set boundaries. Like I think boundaries are just one of the issues that I had in my marriage was there was no boundaries that were set. We didn't talk about any other things like, hey, this is a non-negotiable, or hey, we're not talking about this type deal. So setting boundaries and letting people know, like, hey, speaking on my life and my kids' life, it's not about you. So if you start that process, then I'm taking myself out of this equation.
So boundaries are hard for me because usually the people that say you need to set boundaries are people you need to set boundaries for.
Yeah.
And whenever you set boundaries on them, they get upset. But it's like, well, but you wanted me to set boundaries for this person, this person, this person. But whenever I set a boundary with you, all hell breaks loose.
So I think you have, this is a lot of people, including I used to be a people pleaser too. I wanted to make everyone happy. But in making everyone happy, you essentially are cutting pieces of you up. So if your mom wants you to be happy this way and you do it that way, there's that piece. Your sister, you cut a piece off. The gym, your brother, work. So you're cutting all yourself up. And so everyone is happy because they have like a piece of you, but you're like broken and you don't feel happy. You don't feel whole. And at some point, you got to take all those pieces back, put yourself back together and be like, yo, this is me. And I'm not going to do the things that y'all want me to do because I know how that made me feel. And I don't feel good in that process of trying to break myself up for you to make you happy.
Is this when you have like how they say, name the 5 closest people you have in your circle?
For sure.
So if whoever's in your circle isn't going to do that to you to make you feel like you have these pieces scattered around everywhere, right? Yeah. It's like,
well, you know what? It's because that circle, they feel the same exact way. So you might start thinking about the circle that you're around, because the people that you hang around with, that's who you're going to be. That's who you're going to be. Right. And so if you are hanging around 5 people, well, not you, I'm not saying you're broken, Esmeralda.
He's looking at me like,
I know. She's like, so 1, thirst trap, 2, he's creepy, and now he's saying I'm a bad dude. So no, I'm not saying like, again, like those people are broken because they want you to be broken as well.
Right. And so I feel like a lot of the times it's like, I'm going to keep beating you over the head and telling you this is wrong, you're wrong, because I'm unhappy with myself. And it's just like, I'm sorry you're unhappy, but it's like, I can't think of it. Like, I've gone through some tough things. Everybody has, right?
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it's affected who I am. I feel like I've always been this happy, outgoing, loud, obnoxious person.
Yeah.
But I feel like, and in some settings, people are like, why do you have to be so fucking loud? Or why do you have to, like, you're always just goofing off? And it's like, that's just who I am as a person. And it's just like, but it's also why I can probably count on one hand how many people that I just don't get along with. There's not a whole lot of people I don't get along with. I can get along with fucking everybody.
See, this is why the book club / accountability support group is going to be good for you. Because in 2022, that's something that I want to, see from you is, I don't want you to be a people pleaser, because it's draining, it sucks, it saps the life out of you, and you can't be your true self trying to please everyone else.
But I think that's a lot of too where my anxiety stems from.
Got you.
When I think about it, is because it's like I'm already thinking before I go into a situation, like I got to tone myself down, or what if these people aren't going to accept me for who I am? Because I can honestly say I feel like I'm the same person here as I am at the gym.
Yeah,
be the same. Or at church,
be the same person. Again, you be the same person. If they fuck with you, they'll come around. If they don't, they won't. you don't want people in your life that's not going to be
Your
there.
circle just falls together.
Yeah, they
If,
do.
like if they don't want to be around you, then they won't. But
Yeah.
then whoever does is already like gonna be around
Yeah.
you.
If you're too loud for somebody, well then it's not about you. It's about that it's about the other people, the other
But I've also
person.
gotten to a new place this year where I'm able to have uncomfortable conversations with people.
Like this one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like there was a time when we didn't get along.
Yeah.
And so it's like we had to have that conversation to be able to move forward. It's like we're either going to move forward or we're going to sit here and be stupid.
So was it like a pretty girl versus pretty girl type deal? Like how?
Yeah, I wanted her ass so bad.
Yeah.
She was not
Like-
giving me the secret.
Ass as far as like
Oh my gosh,
ass or like I'm so confused right now.
It's like, how do I get built like a brick house? No, but I feel like, I mean, you're right. The right people will be okay and be like, okay, let's have this conversation.
Yeah.
It's just like being able to, like, we were in the same boat with Kelsey.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a lot of misunderstandings with a lot of people. And until I was like, you know what? I'm going to have these conversations. Might be uncomfortable to them or myself, but it's just like, how else are you supposed to be able to?
Communication is key.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it's irrelevant. He said, she said, whatever, or I may have said things I didn't mean, or you may have said things you didn't mean. But I 1000% believe that as adults, we should be able to sit and have these conversations. If that person means something to you and you feel like they're going to play an important role in your life and you've appreciated the role they played in your life, then, I mean, a disagreement shouldn't be something that's definite and
Yeah.
destroys those things.
For sure.
And I mean, like she said, your circle will come together if it's meant to come together, but that's got to be, it also goes back to boundaries.
This is a low key counseling session. You just.
I feel like life
I'm
is
just
too
saying.
damn short
It
to
is.
not like do what you enjoy. Like it is because
I feel like after my husband passed, for example, and then I'm like, oh shit, I feel like I have this second chance of
Yeah.
life, live it differently, raise my kids differently. Like God's given me a second chance. Like,
Yeah.
how are you going to use it? Like, to me, I tell myself that all the time. Like, how are you going to use a second chance? Like, life literally is too short. Like, in a blink of an eye, you can drive home tomorrow
Yeah.
and be gone.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally just like that. And so I feel like just do what makes you happy. Do what you find joy in, and
everything will work out.
everything works out.
So low key, like so this is like all my eggs are in like this basket. Creating content, working with kids and things of that nature. I don't have like a 9-to-5 type job.
Mhm.
So I work, I get paid from Hector. I only do part time, but the rest of my money comes from like the gig economy, Uber and Instacart. And for a little bit, I was like, man, this is not what I want or how I want. But after a while, it's like, who gives a fuck? My bills are paid. I'm taking care of business. I have the time, like the free time to do this. I have the free time to go to the youth detention center. I just, I'm gonna start going to Permian on Tuesdays, and so that I have time to do these things versus,
I'm going to work 8 to 5 and not have
what
time
someone
to
is
do
telling me
I enjoy.
what I should do.
Right.
You got to get an 8-to-5 job. You got to work this way. This is the way you have to do it because society says it's the way you have to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, the society doesn't tell me how I can live my life because I see society and it's not there's a lot of miserable people out there, upset, angry, and pissed off because they have to go to work like on a daily basis. So I just don't want to do that. And so like, I have until June. I paid off some stuff, and so I have until June to figure this out. But that's what I'm gonna do. Like I'm just gonna like every day I wake up and I just enjoy it to the fullest because like you don't know. Like Esmeralda said, you don't know if tomorrow is promised to you, and so why worry about what somebody else is thinking about you? One thing that I've learned that really helped me out is you're not that fucking important.
Mhm.
People aren't thinking about you the way you think that they're thinking about you. They might see you and say something, but they're not thinking about you like all the time because they have their life that they have to live. And if they're always thinking about you, they're not living their life. You know what I'm saying? And so that kind of helped me understand, like, especially in this process, and I'm telling everybody in my damn business, I'm not that important. Like, yeah, I'll be like the talk for a little bit. People will like shun me and make, oh, this dude is a whatever. But after a while, they forget about it and they go about their day because like they have other shit that they have to worry about. They have bills, they have jobs, they have kids, they have things that they need to get accomplished. And so, that kind of helped me in this process of like, I'm not that important. When you see me, you might laugh, but at the end of the day, like, I'm still fucking amazing.
So I got the quote from that book. Yeah. So it says, life's a garden. It takes work and effort, but if you cannot bring yourself to love the work, you're never going to love your garden. Like, if you love the work, you're like, you even enjoy working on that damn garden. Like, oh, yeah, this is my garden. These are my flowers, whatever.
But if,
yeah. You're not getting my flowers. Yeah. But if you hate it, you hate every single thing, like your flowers can bloom and you're like, fuck those flowers. Those took a lot of my hard work. And I think that's how life should be taken. Like, love your work. Like, and it goes back to like having a purpose, like why people tell you why. I feel like a lot of us just need a purpose. And once we have that purpose and find it, and we just roll with it.
Yeah.
We just go from there.
Yeah. And your purpose might be in the industry. If that's what you love to fucking do, then that's what you need to be doing.
I hear a lot like your kids need structure, and I was like, what? I'm like, structure how? Because I'm like, I feel like growing up, we were the furthest thing from structure.
Yeah.
Like, it was just my mom, and I felt like we were always all over the place. And I don't feel like she was a bad parent because of it. I don't feel like we lacked anything because of it.
That turned out pretty fucking amazing.
And that's what I'm saying. Is like, so whenever I hear like your kids need structure and they need organization and you have to be this and this and they need to see this, it's like, I feel like my mom didn't have her shit together, but she always figured it out.
Yeah.
And I don't think any less of her for it. And I don't think that we were raised badly for it. And I don't think our lives are fucked up and whatever, or like we didn't get to do this and this because we didn't have structure and we didn't have organization or stability, whatever. And it's just like, I don't know where people get these things from anymore. And it's just like, why are you so concerned about something that doesn't directly affect you?
Yeah.
It's like, it blows my mind how many people are just, and I guess too, goes back to the world we live in. It's a social media thing. It's just like people feel like because you post certain things, like they know you, or it's just like, I know, maybe I pick and choose what I want you to see.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. Like, I 100% pick and choose what I want you to see, because I do a lot of other shit, and like in the community, and just if I post it, it's because I felt like posting it. If I read something, it hit me, I'm gonna post it.
Mm-hmm. But it also goes the other way. Like if I say I went out and it's like, where are her kids? Or why is she out?
Again,
but okay, so who's saying that? And then it's like, who's saying that? Do they even matter? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, well, they said this about me. That person said, well, where are her kids? Well, where are your kids? Like, what is it to you? Like, what is it to you? It's just like it goes back to like, fuck those people.
Yeah.
Like,
well, there's a lot of helicopter parents nowadays too. And it's just like, because they think that they can see whatever you're showing them, then it's just like, you're not doing this right. And it's like, do you even have kids?
Yeah, you don't. I wouldn't even, I wouldn't even worry about any of that. I think you're doing a phenomenal job. You have, 2 amazing daughters.
I do.
That are going to do great things, and you're making it happen. So don't shit on yourself when it comes to it, because you are here in this moment. You're present in this moment, and
I'm really
your kids are here for you
instead of in my head and thinking
all the negative shit
for tomorrow, or what am I do a week from now, or I don't have a plan. It's just like I'm working really hard, and I told myself this year, like, I'm gonna start doing for myself and what I think is best for myself and my kids, and I'm going to work on being present because I feel like I'm always so worried about what's coming or what's next.
Yeah.
And it's just like, are you going to keep feeding your fears and just continue unraveling?
Yeah.
Or are you going to come up with a solution and like
figure it out,
tough this shit out and be you?
So I heard this from a counselor a while back, and she described as anxiety of you're thinking too much in the future, as like depression, you're thinking too much in the past. So whenever those thoughts do come to mind, you just bring yourself to the room and be present. Like just bring yourself. I was like, oh my God, that's why when you travel, when you go somewhere, it's new, you're present there. I'm like, that's why it helps you so much with, if you're dealing with anxiety or depression, you're traveling, like you're enjoying that moment. Like shit, it's expensive to go, you're gonna enjoy the moment. And so I'm like, it hit me. I was like, oh my gosh. And she's like, if you're ever struggling with those two, just bring yourself to the room, whether it's like music or smell or just with your senses. And then you're present, and then it gets better, goes away. That's how you can cope with it.
Yeah. Something that has helped me out in the process is, saying thank you, God, or thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, for this moment. Thank you, Jesus, for this moment. And he'll bring you back into that moment. I say it a lot. I'm enough. I am worthy. When I start to feel like depression or anxiety, I start throwing out those affirmations. I am worthy of love. I'm worthy to have a happy life. I'm worthy. I'm enough. And it kind of brings me back into like that present moment of like, okay, I am worthy. I am enough. Thank you, Jesus, for the opportunity now that I have in this moment to like be the best I can possibly be. And that's just kind of where, we should all be living, is in this moment, because again, I don't know if I'm going to live past tomorrow,
Right.
But I also know that I want to, be able to say that I lived in that moment and I experienced life to the fullest without like thinking about the past or thinking about the future, because there's nothing I can do about the past and nothing I can do about the future. I can only focus on like
Present.
this present moment. And this moment, when you start to realize it and live in it, it is so fucking beautiful. Like you don't take things for granted. Like you don't. I don't take these things for granted. I don't take going to the gym in the morning for granted. I don't take talking to the kids for granted, because like I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing this.
So you're genuinely,
So
I
really
enjoying it.
I really want them to get what it is that I'm like talking about, but I also want them to give me things in return. I think that's just where the beauty is at. Your daughters see you, right?
Yeah, they do.
And they have amazing personalities, right? To me, I don't feel like, if you were a horrible mom, they would be like scared. And I mean, Ava just, I seen her doing like muscle ups and like, I'm just like, God dog, man, she's out there and she's doing it.
Wild.
Right. And so it's just like, you're giving them like that is a piece of you in them. And you see, how carefree and just, smart and loving they are. So don't shit on yourself for what people assume you not to do, because you can look at your kids and know I'm fucking doing it. Because there are some kids that go to school and I'm like, your parents are not in the picture. Like they're just simply not in the picture. And you can tell that. It's very sad.
Super sad.
It is.
But that goes back to like what I said on Mother's Day when I was talking about, it's like everybody's talking about this and that, like I want to be the best mom in the world, and I'm just like, everybody knows I'm late as fuck to everything. Not disrespect thing. I don't feel like, I just always think I have more time than I do. I really do.
You're on CP time. That's all. It's all right.
But I'm just like, my girls know I'm always late, and they still love me for it. And it's just like, I don't cook all the time, and it's like, we can't do this all the time, but it's just like, they're loved. They know they're loved, they're taken care of, and at the end of the day, like, they feel safe and loved in my home.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I've gotten to the point to where if my girls are good and we can tough it out and we can have uncomfortable conversations with one another and be good, it's like at the end of the day, we're all we have.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to extend myself some grace in that manner to where I'm like, these girls are amazing. And I feel like if I was doing a horrible job, because don't get me wrong, they definitely, my girls are always with me. I take them everywhere.
Yeah.
So they're around. I mean, Ava's right there. And to me, it's just like they're who they are. And I don't neglect the fact that they're around you or they're around you and they're feeding off of so many different people.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, but at the same time, I don't want to be criticized because like she always just has to be around whoever.
Yeah. You shouldn't care.
And that's like I said, I'm working on not giving a shit what other people are thinking about what I'm doing and setting boundaries and being present, because like I talk to God way more than I have my entire life this last year.
Yeah.
And whether it be COVID being scary, losing so many people, I'm like, hey God, it's me again. I know you're probably sick of me by now. It's like this is my 13th call, but I tell myself all the time, just like when I do something throughout the day, I think to myself, if something happened to me today or tomorrow, what am I leaving people with? Like, what's going to be their last thought, or what was our last conversation? Was I a positive impact on you? Was it negative? Like, and that's my thing. It's like, I don't want to be that person that was just worried all the time and anxious and scared that I didn't do anything.
Yeah. See, that's a perfect segue to the very last question. And the very last question is, what impact do you want to leave on this earth? When you're gone, what do you want people to remember you by?
The clown that I am. I always tell myself, I was like, when I die on my tombstone, I put something my grandma said to me one time when she was living in Austin. We were at the pool, and I was waving at these strangers across the way, and she like smacked the shit out of my hand. I was like, whoa. And I said, I was just saying hi. And she's like, to strangers, Kimberlee Marie? I was like, I was just being friendly. She's like, you know what? Sometimes you're too damn friendly. It's like, story of my life.
Story of your life.
My whole life. And I'm just like, I mean, just kindness.
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily like that I did the right thing, but I don't know.
Are you and Kelsey sisters?
No, we're brothers.
Oh yeah.
I don't have my bracelet. I was going to say. We're brothers.
That's exactly what she said last week.
I mean,
just kindness. Like she wanted people to just know that she was kind. She was a genuine person, and when she came around, she really,
It's like you enjoyed yourself when you were in my company.
So, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, like there are certain people in life that when they come around, it's like it's a joy, right?
Yeah.
I've never had like a time where I'm like, I wish she wasn't here. You know what I mean? Like, she's draining up all the good energy, right? Kelsey has that spirit. You have that spirit. There's not a lot of people who have that spirit. I don't know you enough to be around you to know that you have that spirit, Esmeralda. But yeah, there are certain people who have that spirit. When they walk into a room, they change the room, and you have that. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that you need to be aware of, because again, it's something that we sometimes in life we just assume like all the negative shit, but understand that your impact when you walk into a room, you change the whole trajectory of that room. That room becomes a lot lighter now because you're in it, clowning around, having a good time, enjoying life. And like I said, it shows. So just keep doing you, and don't let other people tell you what to do and how to live your life.
I'm really working on that, because it's just like it's like, am I being too loud? Like that's something I said to somebody. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm really loud and obnoxious. It's like, who said? Like I never said that. And it's like, I'm sorry, it's like a thing. to where I have to apologize ahead of time.
Have you met me?
That's why I appreciate
Have
that
you
all
met
of my
me?
friends are allowed to ask.
I do not apologize for anything because I am awesome.
And I feel like
I want you to hear. I want you to say it. That you're awesome.
I'm a clown.
No. I also want you to say I'm awesome.
I'm awesome.
We'll say it with some pizzazz. Say it with your chest.
I don't have a chest.
Yes, you do. You have a chest.
I'm awesome. Does that help?
No, one more time.
I'm awesome.
One more time.
I'm awesome.
Dig deeper, girl.
That sounded very
Yeah. Dig deeper.
I'm fucking awesome.
I dig that. I felt that one. And so just walk around and you don't have to apologize for being who you are.
Well, and it's not all the time that I'm uncomfortable because like when I'm with people like Esmeralda or Kelsey or my friend Brittany, I swear we're
Soul sisters.
Yeah, we're twins separated at birth. Like she looks like my mother for one, but
Britt.
Brittany House.
Oh, don't know her.
She's
Brittany House massages.
Yeah, beach massage.
Oh, hey. She got to give me a sponsorship, Brittany. Brittany House massages.
But
I need a
certain people
sponsorship.
where when you're in their company, all you do is you just laugh, and I feel like that's all of my friendships.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that I've spent time with that I don't leave. My face doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
And to me, I hang on to those little things because I'm just like, if I was a piece of shit, we would have had that great of a time.
Well, you're not a
And
piece
I
of
feel
shit.
like literally she held me hostage at her house for a whole week during the snowstorm last year. She would not let me go home.
She didn't have water or electricity as when the snowstorm hit. I had both. So then she slumbered at my house for a whole week. And then when her stuff did come on, I'm like, you sure you don't want to stay another night? Like, I know your stuff came on, but
She's
just
like,
stay
just
another
look at
night.
your stuff and come back.
Did she help you with the booty aspect of it? Or you had a whole week to learn from like the Jedi Master over here.
No.
No, you did
what?
not learn.
That
What?
was-
I enjoyed that week.
It was one of the strangest weeks for me because one, I don't like staying at other people's houses. Like it weirds me out. Like
Yeah.
ever since I can remember being a kid, I've never liked doing like slumber parties or spend the night. It's just always weirded me out.
Yeah.
Thought of falling asleep in someone else's house. It's like, oh, where am I? It's weird, but I'm uncomfortable. But that week I was able to, that was the first week that I was able to just, my girls weren't here.
Yeah.
Since we were all snowed in, they were in San Antonio. And so I was by myself and I stayed with her that entire week. And we essentially did whatever the fuck we wanted to do. It's like we drank in the middle of the day. We had popcorn on the couch. We were playing Mario Kart with some wine. I mean, Kelsey was there too, but it's just like we painted an entire bathroom. We even trekked through the snow to get to a gym. I mean, we just did off the wall stuff that it was like being a kid again.
Yeah.
But it's just like I hadn't had a week like that to where it's just like unadulterated
We
fun.
watched the whole season of Good Girls, right?
Yep. We did.
Have you seen that one?
Good girl.
Is it Rio?
Yeah.
He's like, so
Oh.
what does he say? What does he
Elizabeth.
say? Elizabeth. He talks to that girl. He's like Elizabeth, and I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, my name is no longer.
She
Yeah.
said, she said, change my contact name to Elizabeth.
Oh, you're talking about that dude with the tattoos and
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
Yeah, I got
And
you.
stuff like that. Like I feel like anytime I leave somebody, we've had that interaction, and so I try to keep that in mind. It's like whenever I leave someone's company, it's like we had a great time.
Yeah.
And so if I just got out of my head more, I'd understand like me being a clown isn't half bad.
No, it's not bad at all. And I'm glad you said me for the accountability group because I'm really going to make it into something to where if you're not being if you're not in the group and you're not like communicating and talking and stuff, you're going to get kicked out. Because I really want it to be something to where we create like an environment where people can come in and have like,
It's therapeutic.
yeah, I need help with people pleasing. And then, weekly or every day, someone sending you something and saying like, you're amazing, you're awesome. And after a while, you start to like believe it. And then once you believe it, it's a wrap. Like, then you start to like understand, like, okay, I am amazing, I am awesome. So I don't care what someone says about me, because at the end of the day, they're human, and so am I. So
I feel like too, when you listen to like negativity or bad comments or just bad shit people say about you, that drains your energy.
For
and
sure.
then you don't have any good energy left for you to go and do stuff for yourself, even work,
yeah,
be a parent, be a mom, whatever.
yeah,
So
it's 100%. What about you, Miss Elizabeth? What impact do you want to leave on this
just a
earth?
positive impact. Like, did I inspire you to do something, whatever it was? Shoot, even the girls at the gym, a lot of them, their husbands won't let them go work out anywhere else.
Mhm.
So their main environment there, like any interaction that they have with anybody else other than their family or their home or their husband, is going to be there at the gym.
Mhm.
So just the fact that I could be a positive impact on them, like even just going to the gym, something so simple,
Yeah.
just a positive impact overall
Yeah.
on anyone. If
Yeah.
I can just touch someone's life like that, I mean,
You've inspired
That
me to clean my kitchen immediately after making anything.
Well, you're already doing that.
She's not
with
even
your
nothing
gym.
all the time.
So, awesome.
What about you?
What about me? What?
tables turned on you.
That
What impact do you want to leave on this earth?
Has changed as many lives as I possibly can.
There you go.
Like every day I want to change a life. I honestly believe I'm going to change the world. I don't know how, but like in my heart, like that's something that I'm going to do. I'm going to strive to do it. Like whatever it takes, I'm going to change the world. I really want men to be stronger, better men, mentally tough men of high value, where we're not, essentially fucking up the lives of, the women that we choose to, be with, because we chose them for a reason. And we shouldn't change 3 years into a relationship. So I want men to like know themselves, learn about themselves, and so when they come into relationships, it is them 100%, and it's just a beautiful thing, I feel. So yeah, I want to impact as many lives as I possibly can, and I'm going to.
I like that.
So
Same.
Positive impact.
yeah, for sure. I was like, who said that? Because I ain't see your mouth move. I was like, where did that come from?
That was Elizabeth.
So
yeah.
real quick,
Uh-huh.
which do you value more, love or respect? Which do you value more, love or respect? I'm asking you that question because we talked about it earlier.
Love.
Okay.
Because I think love conquers all. Like love in that book. Oh, I love that book. Listen, it's
I need this
it
book.
is, what is it called?
Wise as fuck.
Wise as fuck. He talks about love in the book, and he talks about how love is just it's pure. It's not looking for nothing. It's not asking for anything. It's just you sacrifice yourself in this like environment when you're with this person, and the sacrifice isn't like a negative sacrifice. It's just like, I'm sacrificing a piece of me because this is what I know that you want. Yeah, and I'm not looking for nothing back in return. And I think like that right there is just like a beautiful thing that that I'm now searching for. I mean, not now, because I'm still working on it.
Right.
I'm searching for that love within myself. And then once I find it within myself, then I want to go out there and I want to love, a person that same way. But I would value love more than respect, because I think love is just
What do you think
a beautiful thing.
sounds stronger to people, though? What do you think people
Guys
value?
would be like, respect.
No, I'm saying, like, what sounds better to you? I trust you, or I love you.
I love you. Because I love you.
But what if you
encompasses
lost
everything.
respect for me? Let's say we were together.
Mhm.
What if I did something horrible and disrespectful, and you no longer respected me, would you still be capable of loving me?
Do I still love you?
100%.
I'm like, wait, so then if there's no respect, is there love?
Exactly. My point.
So I can still love you, right? So I think
I don't think you can love someone you don't respect.
With respect, I feel like you have to build it. And so if you lost the respect, then you have to build it back.
What if you can't build it back?
If I love you enough to want, but if I love you enough to want to build that respect back, I'm going to love you so I can build that respect back. Does that make sense?
And if I can't, then I no longer love you, and this relationship isn't working. So bye.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, you can do like fucked up things, and I can still love you. I can still love you and not trust you.
How does that work?
Because you lost my trust, but my love is still there for you.
God is love, Kim.
Like, like it goes back.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Like, literally, like love has been since day one. Like,
love is love. It's all
about love.
I've lost, trust. I mean, God. Let me see how to say it. I've lost trust in God, or God's lost trust in me, but He still loves me enough to let me build that back up. So that's where I'm coming from. Like, God never not stopped loving me. So in life, I'm not going to stop loving someone. I now know where they're at, and if I can build with them, I will. But if I can't, I can't. But I still love that person. If they ever say if they ever say I need me for something, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna handle it. You know what I mean? But like, if I love you, like I love you.
Right.
Like, there are still females like way in the past that we haven't talked, but I still have love in my heart for them. And if they ever reach out and say, "Hey, I need help," I'm going to 100% help them, because I don't, there's no animosity there, right? They might have animosity for me, but I don't have any animosity for them, because, again, I had love in my heart for them at some point, and so it doesn't go away from me.
Even to people like that you don't speak to, let's say, for whatever reasons, or you cut ties because you're being toxic, you could still, like a family member, for example, you can still love them, but you set the boundary to like, hey, I love you, but I don't have to.
I have to do it from a distance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love you from afar.
I can love you from afar.
Yeah. And that's still love.
Yeah.
I mean, you're setting that boundary, and that's still love, Since y'all put me on the spot, what about y'all? Love or respect?
Love.
Love.
Definitely love. Like, yeah. I'm like, love over everything.
Yeah.
I obviously have a problem being loved.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. She was suspending respect.
Put some respect on my name.
So do you think respect is earned or built?
Earned, definitely.
I don't think it's earned.
I think so.
What is the difference between being built and earned?
Yeah.
Well, because there's like a entitlement to it.
It's like
to me, like, earn is like an entitlement. Like, you have to earn my respect. I hear a lot of guys always say you have to earn my respect.
I think build it sounds the same though. Like, you have to build up this.
But do you see how different it sounds?
It does sound different. Like, it doesn't sound as bad, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. Perspective. Because
Respectfully disagree.
so it gets, and I don't even know why I'm bringing this one up, because I don't remember what podcast it was where you said respect or fear. And I was like, respect, because and I took it as like, when I'm raising my kids or whatever, yeah, they can fear me all day long, right? They're not going to do this because mom's going to like whatever. But I don't hit my kids. I don't even know how to hit my kids yet. Yeah.
Don't say nothing like that, girl.
Anyways,
I'm sorry.
My point is like, okay, so they fear you, respect you, but by the time they're 18 and they no longer fear you, because what are you going to do to them? They're adults. What are they going to do? They're going to leave the house and not talk to you anymore. You're not going to have a relationship with them, because all it was fear. It was built on fear. As far as like respect, well, maybe they'll respect you not to do those things because they know it's going to hurt you in some way.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're not going to respect me as a mom if I do certain things. That's why I'm saying, like, respect is earned, because I have to earn their respect. I'm not like so forth, well, they're kids, they have to listen to me because I'm a mom.
Yeah.
I do the rules. I feel like.
And that's like my least favorite thing to hear is you're the parent. And it's just like, I hear you, but like, just like with raising a teenager, it's like, I can't believe you're letting them go here and here and here. It's like, nobody knows, but Madeline, I've never let her do anything her entire life. She's never gone to a sleepover. I've never dropped her off so she can go to the movies with friends or bowling. Like this year, her senior year was the first time she's ever gone to a football game with her friends. And it was just like, you let her go by herself. And I'm like, yeah, she's never done that before. And I feel bad. Like if I've sheltered her.
Yeah, you better not shelter her because I was sheltered.
No.
When I turned 18,
But we have those conversations, like, and I've always told her, like, kids are so bad, but she comes home and she's like, God, kids are so awful these days, and my friends are trying this and this and this, but we've had that conversation where, you want to try something? Come talk to me. There's a possibility we can try it together, or we can talk about it, or, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have
get it here.
Us too far. Right. If it was fear, they're going to be too scared.
They're going to be too afraid to approach me and say something. But if she respects me, she'll come to me and be like, hey, can I try this? Or what about this?
Yeah.
Which I totally get.
So I want to look at the different definition between earn and fear. Because a lot of guys, they run around and they say, earn my respect. And I think it's just like a negative way of looking at it.
I think the way they say it is negative. The tone of voice that they use to say it is negative. Like, it sounds arrogant.
Well, delivery is huge. And I think a lot of people don't pay attention to their delivery because it's always, well, I am who I am. This is how I talk. And it's just like, well.
And again, so
it's gradual. It's not like earn my respect, like, because I'm telling you, like, no, like,
that's
you
why I
earn my respect.
Because in love.
How about develop?
Because in love. Okay, so listen to what. Okay, this is a definition of earn. Gain deservedly in return. I don't like that, especially in love. You shouldn't have to gain anything deservedly in return for one's behavior or achievement.
So I get what you're saying now.
So earn is like I have to do something in order for you to give me respect. Versus build.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Which is, let me get the meaning for
it's
build.
Gradual. It's like over time.
It's over
things
time.
That you did, like, oh shoot, you did this, like, oh man, you earned my respect because of this, like, you didn't actually ask for my respect. I'm just giving it to you because of stuff you've done.
We get it. You're right.
So no, I don't know if you. So this is one of my biggest like pet peeves. That's what's wrong with America. Everyone's trying to be right. I think you're stupid if you have to be right all the fucking time. Like it simply can't be. So I want to be understood, and I want you to understand me versus trying to be right or wrong. Because in conversation, if I understand what you're saying, I get something from what you're saying. But if I'm like, I gotta be right, nothing that you tell me, I could give a shit. I'm not gonna hear anything you say. I just gotta be right? Yeah. Versus like, okay, like I hear what you're saying. I understand you. I respect what you're saying. We agree to disagree. All right. So build is construct by putting parts or materials together.
You are right. But like,
so I don't want to
like,
be right, but I just,
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, there are things that, earn versus build. I now want to build, like lives. I want to build my life. I want to help other people like build better lives versus like, me, I'm gonna earn your life. I'm gonna earn my life. It's just not. It doesn't sound. It just sounds different.
Respect one for another. Yes.
And if I have to earn, if you say it that way, by any means necessary. If I have to manipulate you to get that respect, I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like whatever it takes to get that respect that I think I deserve. Versus I just want to build something together and then see where that goes.
Where it goes.
Yeah. So.
Shoot. Well, then when you talk about earn, that's toxic respect right there.
I think so. It could be. I think so. It could be 100%. So, man, I appreciate y'all for jumping on and having this conversation. I didn't think it was going to last this long. But you're not dummies, but we got somebody said I'm dry, and I'm like, well, hell, I don't know how. Like,
you know what? Like, this is crazy though because
it goes back to your environment, though.
Yeah, like I'm like having this conversation. I was like, well, maybe I'm secretly shy or something because like if I'm I'm not shy with her,
Yeah.
like, other than the fact that
Nobody's
she talks to the
shy with
wall,
me.
though. But it's like I can have a good conversation with people that I know, and
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, how was your day? Yeah, good. What, we can talk about stuff, as opposed to like just a stranger coming in and like trying to talk to me. I'm like, well, I don't know you. Like,
Yeah.
what are we gonna talk about?
Yeah.
I think it
It's
just
kind of like,
depends though. Like, I mean, because I don't feel like I said, I've never met a stranger. I'm in your face all the time, loud. It doesn't matter. Like, I just think
And
that.
that's what makes
So-
you awesome.
and that's what makes me dry.
Yeah. Dry awesome. Like, you're still awesome. You're just
I don't
dry,
feel
I
like I
guess.
give
I don't
people
know.
a chance to be shy.
Yeah, for me neither. Like, when you walk in, I am in your face. Like,
Absolutely.
let's fucking go. I just burped. Now I gotta
Yeah.
cover my mouth. I apologize.
At my gym, I'm not shy at my gym. I'm just like, screaming or keeping the like upbeat
I
environment,
don't see it.
all that.
I don't
See,
see
you don't
it.
see it, but it's like maybe it's just where I'm comfortable. Maybe.
Yeah, because you don't do it at the gym.
No,
I don't.
Yeah, you're very quiet at the gym.
except for when I walk in. She's like.
No. She's like that, but I still don't hear anything from her.
Look at a hug and everything.
But yeah, I appreciate y'all jumping on and having this conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
We had a therapy session
We did.
that you don't think you needed to have, but we had. I think it's a beautiful thing. I always say it, and I will always continue to say it. This is a place where if you come in and if you're real, healing is here. Healing is here. Learning about yourself is here, and this conversation that then, goes out to the masses, and someone gets to pick up on it. Someone gets to learn from it. Someone gets better from this conversation. Someone gets better from what you said. Someone gets better from what you said. And I just think that's just a beautiful thing, and I appreciate y'all for jumping on and having a conversation. If you haven't, like, subscribe. When you listen to it and you like it, share it or don't. I can't tell you what to do. I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And for daily motivational and up-to-date content, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Excellence Above Talent. And remember, keep moving forward, never give up, and you are never alone in this battle. We'll see you next time.